Sirens still echoed in the distance, the hospital lights flickered faintly, and Miami hadn't slept since Joy's accident. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared anyone for what happened the moment Trick Daddy finally saw the leaked hospital report. Witnesses say his entire body froze, then shattered. The hallway went silent. Doctors stopped moving. Even security looked confused as Trick Daddy grabbed the paper with shaking hands, read the first few lines, and suddenly screamed, a raw, painful scream that cut through the entire building like a knife. What was written in that report? What did Joy reveal before she slipped into unconsciousness? And why did Trick Daddy look like he had just seen a truth he never wanted exposed? Sources inside the hospital claim the report contains details so shocking that staff were ordered not to speak about it. Some say Joy managed to whisper something before the machines took over. Others say doctors documented injuries that don't match a normal accident. And a few claim the report hints at something darker, something involving someone close. One thing is certain, whatever Joy said, whatever the doctors discovered, Trick Daddy's reaction proves the truth isn't just painful, it changes everything. Trick Daddy's hands were still trembling long after the scream left his throat. People who had known him for years had never seen him like this, broken, shaking, fighting to stay on his feet. But the truth is, everything leading to this moment had been building for weeks, months, maybe even years. This wasn't just about an accident. It was about 3 lives tangled in secrets, old wounds, and emotions no one had the courage to face. Joy had always been the quiet storm, strong, steady, the kind of woman who held her family together even when everything else was falling apart. She wasn't loud, she wasn't dramatic, but she carried a depth that made people trust her instantly. Those who knew her said she forgave too easily, loved too deeply, and held pain longer than she should. And maybe that was the problem. Maybe she had been holding too much for too long. Samantha, on the other hand, she was fire. Emotional, impulsive, and unpredictable in a way that made people love her or fear her, sometimes both. She and Joy were sisters, but anyone could see the cracks between them. Small arguments that never really healed, jealousy that neither admitted, competition they both denied. They cared for each other, yes. But love doesn't erase tension, and family bonds don't erase resentment. At the center of it all stood Trick Daddy, someone who had been part of both sisters' lives in ways the public still didn't fully understand. Joy trusted him. Samantha confided in him. He had tried to balance between them, to keep the peace when things got messy. But sometimes, trying to save everyone only makes everything worse. Somewhere along the way, Trick Daddy had become the rope in a tug-of-war no one realized they were playing. The days before the accident were strange. Little things felt off, conversations cut short, avoided eye contact, sudden disappearances from group chats, Joy staying unusually quiet during family dinners. Samantha, on the other hand, had been emotional, restless, almost agitated. A few people noticed it. Most ignored it. No one imagined how close everything was to exploding. There had been a small argument earlier that week. Nothing too loud, nothing too dramatic. Just a tense exchange between Joy and Samantha that left a coldness in the room. Both sisters brushed it off, but Trick Daddy didn't. He felt something shifting, something neither wanted to admit. He even tried talking to them separately, but every time he did, their answers made the situation feel more confusing. Then came the night of the accident. Joy driving alone. Samantha leaving somewhere in tears. Trick Daddy pacing nervously, calling both of them repeatedly. Details that seemed unrelated at the time suddenly looked suspicious. And when Joy's car spun out of control, everything that had been quietly simmering burst into a public wildfire. Inside the hospital, as Joy fought for her life, the air was filled with tension that no one dared acknowledge. Samantha sat alone, crying but also terrified of the looks people were giving her. Some eyes were full of pity, others were full of accusation. Even family members whispered behind their hands, wondering what had really happened. Trick Daddy stayed near the emergency room doors, unable to sit still. He kept replaying every conversation he had with Joy and Samantha over the past week. Something was wrong. Something didn't add up. He felt it deep in his chest, like a weight pressing harder with each passing minute. And then, the report arrived. A nurse handed it to him quietly, her expression unreadable. Trick Daddy expected medical terms, injury descriptions, the usual clinical details. But he didn't expect to see Joy's own words written at the top. words she managed to say before slipping into unconsciousness. Words that were now documented in the official hospital record. He read the first sentence. His breath caught. He read the second. His knees weakened. By the third line, the scream tore out of him before he could stop it. Loud, raw, filled with a pain that rippled through the entire hallway. Everyone turned at once, startled, confused, afraid. Samantha flinched so hard she dropped her phone. Her heart thundered in her chest, because she knew, whatever Joy said, it was about someone close. Someone in that building. Someone who wasn't ready for the truth. In that moment, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't just an accident story anymore. This was the beginning of a revelation that would rip open every secret they tried to bury. And the world had no idea what was coming next. The hallway felt colder than before, as if the building itself sensed the weight of what Trick Daddy had just read. He stood frozen, gripping the paper so tightly it crumpled in his hands. Samantha watched him from across the waiting area, her heart beat loud enough to drown out the beeping machines behind the glass doors. She didn't know what was written in the report, but she knew it was bad. She could feel it in her bones. Finally, Trick Daddy took a shaky breath and whispered, "No, Joy, why would you say that?" His voice broke on the last word. A nurse stepped closer. "Do you need to sit down?" He didn't answer. His eyes stayed locked on the paper, as if looking away might make the words disappear. Samantha stood up slowly. What did she say? Her voice barely above a whisper. Trick Daddy looked at her for the first time since the accident. His eyes were red, full of disbelief and something darker. "You already know," he said. Samantha's face went pale. "I don't. Trick, I swear I don't." He took a step toward her, shaking the report in his hand. Joy named someone. Before she passed out. She said who she saw before the car lost control. Samantha's lips parted, terrified. Who? Who did she say? He didn't answer with words. He simply handed the crumpled page to her. Samantha unfolded it with trembling fingers. She scanned the top section, medical details, time of admission, vital notes, nothing unusual. But then she reached the section titled Patient Statement. A short sentence written in the doctor's handwriting, recording Joy's last conscious words. "It wasn't an accident, someone followed me." Samantha's breath hitched. What? Followed? Who? Trick Daddy pointed at the next line. Samantha read it. Then read it again. Her entire body froze. "I saw her." Just that. No name. No description. One word. One accusation. Her. Samantha's heart pounded so hard she thought she might faint. The room spun. "This doesn't mean me," she whispered desperately. "It could mean anyone. Anyone, Trick." He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His expression said everything. Fear, confusion, suspicion. Samantha shook her head violently. "I wasn't there. I wasn't on that road. You know I wasn't." But Trick Daddy's jaw clenched. "Why were you crying earlier that day? Why did you storm out after the argument? Why did you shut your phone off for 3 hours?" "It wasn't about Joy," Samantha cried. "It was something else. I told you that." He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Then why did a message leak online with you saying you were done with Joy? Why were you following her on my location tracker 2 days ago? Why?" "That was days before," she snapped, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I wasn't following her the night of the accident. I wasn't." A doctor walked in, unaware of the tension. "We'll need the immediate family to step outside for a moment." But Trick Daddy ignored him. "Samantha," he said quietly, painfully, "Joy thought she saw you." Joy was scared. Samantha cried. "People hallucinate during trauma. She didn't mean me, she couldn't have meant me." Before Trick could respond, another phone chimed. A deep vibration echoed from someone's pocket. A cousin pulled out his phone and looked at the screen. "Oh my God," he whispered. "Guys, look at this." Everyone turned. He held up the screen. A new leaked audio was spreading online. Just 12 seconds long. Recorded by a bystander moments after the crash. Joy's voice was faint, gasping, weak, but unmistakable. And in the clip, she whispered one chilling sentence. "Tell them, she didn't want me alive." The room fell silent. Samantha staggered back like she had been punched. No, that's not real, that's edited, it has to be. But Trick Daddy's expression changed completely. Not anger, not pain, fear. Because deep down, he knew Joy wasn't the type to lie, not in her final conscious moments. And now, the world had just heard her last words. Everything was about to explode. Outside the hospital, chaos had erupted like wildfire. Reporters pushed against barricades, bright camera lights slicing through the early morning haze. Fans cried into their phones, live streaming raw reactions. And with the leaked audio circulating online, the crowd doubled within minutes. Every voice repeated the same haunting line. Tell them, she didn't want me alive. It was all anyone could talk about. Inside, Samantha felt the weight of 1,000 eyes drilling into her. Nurses whispered when she passed. Family members avoided her completely, choosing to stand on the opposite side of the waiting area. Even the ones who believed she was innocent now looked unsure, shaken by Joy's voice echoing across every social platform. Tears blurred her vision as she pressed her back against the cold wall. Why is this happening to me? She whispered to herself. But no one answered. Not even Trick Daddy, who stood several feet away, staring at the floor, breathing in slow, painful gulps as he tried to process everything. A sudden wave of shouts rose from outside the hospital. Someone rushed inside. They're calling for Samantha, the relative said, shocked. People are chanting her name, telling her to come out and explain herself. Samantha's chest tightened. I didn't do anything, she said, trembling. Why won't anyone listen? Trick Daddy finally looked up. His voice cracked. Because Joy is fighting for her life, and the last thing she said, pointed at you. That doesn't make it true, she snapped. You know me. You know me. He closed his eyes, jaw clenched with agony. Samantha, I don't know what to think anymore. Those words broke her more than the rumors, more than the audio, more than the stares. Trick Daddy had always been her anchor. If he doubted her, she was already drowning. Before either of them could speak again, a group of hospital security rushed through the hall. Everyone needs to stay inside, one officer said. Crowds getting aggressive. Samantha's heart dropped. Aggressive? For what? For you, he said bluntly. Her legs almost gave out. In the corner, Joy's aunt covered her mouth with her hands, eyes filling with tears. Lord have mercy, this family is falling apart. Another nurse walked over to Trick Daddy. We need you to step into a private room, she said gently. There's something else you should see. Samantha froze. No. If there's more, I want to hear it too. The nurse hesitated. It's a note. Trick Daddy's head jerked up. A note. Yes. Found in Joy's bag. Doctors didn't know if it was related, but after the recording, they thought you should see it. Samantha felt sick. Her hands turned ice cold. A note about what? No one answered. Not yet. Trick Daddy followed the nurse down the hall. Samantha stayed behind, shaking, tears streaming as she stared at the reflection of her broken self in the hospital window. Minutes felt like hours. Then Trick Daddy returned, but this time, he wasn't angry. He wasn't screaming. He wasn't suspicious. He looked destroyed. His eyes were glassy, his expression hollow, and his hands were trembling worse than before. Samantha stood, terrified. What did it say? Trick, what did she write? He swallowed hard, voice barely audible. Joy wrote that she had been followed for days, that she felt watched, that someone close betrayed her trust. He paused, breath unsteady, but she didn't say your name. Samantha's heart jerked. So it wasn't about me. He shook his head slowly. No, the note was about someone else. Who? She whispered. Trick Daddy didn't answer. Instead, he handed her the folded paper with the same shaking hand he had held the report with hours earlier. As Samantha opened it, her breath caught in her throat. The handwriting was Joy's, small, shaky, scared. And the last line hit like a punch to the chest. If anything happens to me, tell Trick to stay away from him. Not her. Not Samantha. Him. Someone no one had suspected. Someone Joy feared more than anyone realized. Someone who just became the center of the entire investigation. The truth wasn't just shifting. It was detonating. The hospital lights dimmed as the weight of Joy's final message settled over everyone like a shadow no one could escape. Trick Daddy sank into a chair, hands covering his face, trying to make sense of the truth that had just been torn open. Samantha stood beside him, still trembling, but for the first time since the accident, not because she felt accused. This time, it was because she finally understood. The real danger wasn't the rumors, wasn't the crowd outside, wasn't even Joy's fragile condition. It was the person Joy feared, the person she begged to be protected from. Someone close enough to fool them all. Outside, the chants grew louder. Fans demanded updates. Reporters shouted theories. The internet spun wild accusations with every passing second. But inside that hospital, the story had taken a turn no one expected. Samantha wiped her eyes. "We have to tell people the truth," she whispered, "before this gets worse." Trick Daddy looked at her, devastated. "We don't even know the whole truth yet." And that was the terrifying part. Joy was the only one who did. So now, everything, the answers, the accusations, the healing, the destruction, rested on a single moment. Joy opening her eyes. And when she did, nothing would ever be the same again. Before we reach the next chapter of this unfolding storm, we want to hear from you. Who do you think Joy was talking about in her note? Do you believe the leaked audio is real, or was it planted to twist the story? Is Samantha finally cleared, or is there still more to uncover? Drop your theories, your thoughts, and your predictions in the comments below. This isn't just a story, it's a puzzle, and every viewer becomes part of the investigation. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the moment Joy wakes up, the truth that's been hiding in the dark won't stay hidden anymore. And trust us, the real shock hasn't even arrived yet.